Welcome back, my friends. It is day number 8, and today we ask Reddit, what is your craziest dream? Story 1. One time I tried meth. Just once. I'll try almost anything once just to experience it for myself. Later that night, I had the most disturbing, vivid nightmares, like satanic blood orgy cult ritual shot, demons effing each other while slaughtering babies and whatnot. Okay, so this one can be summed up in one thing. Don't do drugs, kids. 2 to 3 weeks before Endgame released, I had this dream where I had some kind of insurance paperwork job and I was in the office. A group of people were all around me just chatting, and when they left, I noticed one of them was Chris Evans. The lady mentioned he lived around the area and he was selling his apartment and that he was having a showing. So I went and checked out the apartment. He had this giant turtle tank interwoven into the wall. I remember other than that, things were really average. Like an old school alarm clock sitting next to his bed, like the old ones with the red digital number. Later, I ended up needing something, to do my insurance job, of course. And I was like, oh, shot, I saw Chris had one, so I'll just run up and go grab it. I got up there, and Chris and his boyfriend were eating dinner. I immediately apologized and tried leaving, but he welcomed me in, so of course, I came in. We talked about his turtles, just some casual talk. And I remember him having like a Sydney accent. At some point, I thought I heard him say, "Crikey." I asked him where he was from and he mentioned New Jersey, in which I thought, well, that's kind of odd. At the end of it all, when I was leaving, he reminded me, hey, don't forget Thursday. Endgame released on Thursday in that dream. So I responded, how could I? And we both started chanting Team Cap and banging on the walls as I walked down the stairs. Then I woke up. My wife was breastfeeding my son and I told her all about it and she laughed hysterically. She told me that's the kind of dream an 8-year-old would have. She still yells Team Cap from time to time and we laugh about it. That's nice. That's a nice dream. Story 3. I was about 7 when I had this dream and it stuck with me ever since. So I was sitting in an auditorium at a high school and it was dim, dark, and I was all alone in this half-lit room. Sometime into this weird dream, the doors opened on the far side of the room and this thing steps in. It took one giant step towards me and my gut sank. I screamed. I actually woke up screaming that day, and I still don't trust large empty rooms by myself, especially if they're half lit and dark. Well, you see, large, empty, half lit, dim, dark rooms probably wouldn't sit well with myself either. I want to get the heck out of there. Story 4. This morning, I was explaining to someone in my dream that I had to go soon because my cat was going to wake me up in real life around 5 a.m. because she's hungry. I lamented about how exhausting it is to be woken up within my REM cycle every single morning and how I'm perpetually tired because of it. Then, of course, my cat woke me up to eat. Is that a lucid dream? That may be a lucid dream, but I think that's also like a living nightmare, your cat's a real a-hole to be waking you up like that every single morning. Maybe you should invest into like an automatic feeder, because I would lose it, man. Story 5. My best friend killed my 2 sisters and tried to kill me. He hunted me and my mom down Michael Myers style, but we managed to find my dad and he drove us away in his truck. I went outside to find him because he's my best friend since I was 5, and I couldn't think of a reason why he would do this. I found him in the trees right outside my house and I looked him dead in the eye and I said, "Why?" To which he plastered an evil smile across his face. He grabbed a knife and lunged at me. He was about to say something, but I woke up right at that moment. Man, that's unfortunate. That dream sounds like it was going to be epic, but of course, as in classic dream fashion, it woke you up. Maybe one day it picks up again and of course you beat him. That would be best case scenario. Story 6. This is by far the most confusing and, in my opinion, scariest dream. I had a dream about 2-3 months ago, and it started off as a normal dream where I was just in school, which honestly I constantly dream about. And this time it was a school I went to, but the walls had a weird wallpaper and I felt like I had seen it before. Well, it felt like 2 hours in my dream went by, and I was walking home from school. I got close to my house. I could see through the hedge into a field and saw what looked like soldiers about to set a rocket off into space, so I kept looking. Eventually, the rocket was set off, and as soon as it did, the sky turned red and my friends disappeared. It was just me now. I could see the rocket in the sky, and I saw it blow up above me, so of course I started running away. The rocket dropped shards of glass and it filled the sky, almost like it was raining glass shards, and the glass was landing on me. When it did, my vision started fading and it felt like I was dying. My eyes were shut, and I could still think. I kept saying to myself, am I dead? Am I dead? I think I've died. I was stuck in this dark abyss for what felt like an eternity, and then I woke up. I thought I had died. I thought that my dream was real, and I really died there. That's scary. Typically with these kinds of dreams, you kind of wake up before you die, but it seems like you kind of crossed that line, brother. So yeah, it's kind of terrifying. Story 7. I've had vivid dreams my whole life, but a couple days ago I had a dream I was on board to a facility in space, similar to the ISS, but this time I was going to go there to die comfortably because Earth was freezing over due to a deep freeze, and nothing in space was able to sustain life. I remember just wishing though I could go back to Earth and die there comfortably with my family. And then sometimes I get some really dumb dreams, like dreams where I'm eating a tortilla chip and just commenting on how stale it is because it's more chewy and not crunchy. Yeah, that's just the nature of dreams. You really don't know what you're going to dream of sometimes. There's people out there who claim they can control their dreams, but I have yet to meet them. Story 8. I had a dream once where I was having a family dinner at my parents' place. But both of my parents are zombies, but of course still themselves. We are all sitting down and my mom points out that, hey, it is very important that if she bleeds on something, we should not eat it since that would turn us into zombies. We had meatloaf, and my mom had bled into the meatloaf. So, skip forward in time, and of course, my entire family is now zombies. But we were wearing some type of magical, typical Indian clothing, and we were dancing some kind of Bollywood-style dance in the bottom of a pool. I woke up gasping for air. I had been holding my breath underwater in my dream. That's pretty funny because your dream started off kind of scary, and then it just became this awesome dream. It's pretty cool. Story 9. Back in second grade, I had this boyfriend, and he would always break up and get back with me the next day, so yeah. But I had a dream, and I think it was because I was tired of this game. And basically, he had this hero-like complex, like a big one. Actually, a major one. And in this dream, his muscles got so big, and they kept growing, and he warned me he was going to explode, and he did, and became a pile of mushy, gooey thingy that kept moving around. That's a pretty interesting dream for someone in the second grade. And also, yeah, why do you have a boyfriend in the second grade? Come on. Story 10. So here's a short version. Was a kid. Found some treasure. Bought mom a haunted house. Made a sandwich that looked really good. Then mom got possessed. Was about to die. I really wanted that sandwich though, so I woke up and I went back to sleep. The second dream picked up right where I left off. I'm jumping back to flashbacks of the house/ghost origin story. I became part of a new family. I was the son, of course. Son wakes up one night. Son sees a dead guy. Finds dead guy's hand. Dead guy creeps on son. Next day, kid's possessed. Baby ate mom's thumb, then attacked her face. Yeah, that's a pretty wild dream to make it short like that, I feel like I missed a lot of detail there, but hey, sounds cool. Story 11. In the year 1990, I stripped off my clothing intending to go skinny dipping. When I dived off the pier, my body took flight and I became one with the gorilla god Dennis. My body took flee into the magical world of Gentonia and I skinny dipped in a pool of jello. Then I dreamed I effed a deer in the ash. And it gave birth to a spaceship before I came, 1,000,000 gallons of spewing hot chum into the face of 1,000 women. Then I knocked them up and they gave birth to an army of my 3-foot-long D, having sons, and we conquered the world, ravaging chickens and having Will out of control, deranged S3X with all the women and all the animals until I effed the people and NASA and stole a spaceship to go. Conquered the world with our massive warrior Ds, then we turned into bats and effed cars and grew 20-foot metallic Ds in order to impregnate girls with hot oil chum mixed with nuts and bolts in order to give birth to Rolls Royces. The clown carnival people came back from the dead and started shotting out shotguns full of Hennessy, and they executed all the baby dolphins that live in the woods behind the moon on Yakinik 5, the planet. That is when my asshole talked to me when I'm driving down the highway, telling me I need to go allow myself to be effed by the bow god Terrence. When I walked into the classroom upon arriving, I contemplated sawing off my foot with a crayon so I can see the future and determine the next president of the United States of America. During the year 1947, I discovered the electric cars would cause cancer, so I enlisted in the Russian army to fight world hunger. While I was in Russia, I learned that snow cones comes from animal cracker boxes. The truth shocked me. The only way to come to learn the secrets of the universe is to drink until you almost black out, but don't black out. That way you can learn the secrets of the universe and become one with the Edward Plant monster. Which brings me to tonight's story. When I walked in from work earlier, drunk, I sat down on my couch and wanted my car to be in my room, so I tried to drive my car into the house, but I learned that resistance was futile, and I jammed the broom in my ash and drank more liquor and passed out in my neighbor's yard. I have become one with the sun, and I am forever a robot, which brings me to the crux of the question. I met my brother Jonathan one day before I went to work. He was a striking fellow, and I allowed him to sleep in my bed. I gave him everything he wanted. I even allowed him to F my girlfriend and pet my turtle Larry. When I came back from work, he had his D in my girlfriend and my turtle in his mouth. I failed program, did not execute. Please F me, Terry Lee, Ashley Jennings. Okay, what did I just read? That started off so innocent and so normal, and then it just took a deranged turn. I don't know what that was, but honestly, that was poetic genius. I could never write something like that. So, hey, whoever wrote that, kudos to you. You are something. Story 12. Once I had a super vivid dream where a lot of stuff happened. But at the end of it, my cousin, like a 9-year-old girl, was in a car wreck, and I arrived at the aftermath, and I could vividly see her arm dangling from her body, only held on by a few strips of skin. Everything was shredded. It was horrifying, and I couldn't get the image out of my head for a week. I still think about that sometimes, but luckily, it was just a dream. Yeah, I could share in this one too. Let's just say I had a family member hold on to a grenade for a little bit too long. And yeah, I woke up pretty freaked out, to say the least. So that concludes it for day 8. Thank you for tuning in. If you like these kinds of videos, please like and subscribe, and drop a comment down if you have your own personal story or own personal dream. Hit the bell notification icon on the very top here to be notified when new videos drop. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.